Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ariyantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Uvajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. नमः समय साराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित्स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे अज्ञानतिमिरन्धानां ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः तीर्थङ्करो जगन्नाथजयवन्तवर्तो ओङ्कारनादजिननो जयवन्तवर्तो जिनना समो शरण सौ जयवंत वर्तो ने तीर्थचार जगमा जयवंत वर्तो नमो ए तीर्थनायक ने नमो ओंकार नादने ओंकार संगर्यो तेने नमो ते श्री कुंद कुंदने अहोपकार जिनवरनो कुंदनो ध्वनि दीव्यनो जीन कुंद ध्वनियाप्या अहो ते गुरु काननो अहो भगवती मातनो ध्रुव अचलने अनुपम गति पामेल सर्वे सिद्धने वंदी कहो सुत केवली भाषित आसमय प्राव्रत अरे हूँ एक शुद्ध सदा अरूपी ज्ञान दर्शनमय खरे कहीं अन्य ते मारू जरी परमाणु मात्र નથી अरे जम नेत्र तेम ज्ञान નથી कारक નથી वेदक अरे जाने जकर मोदय निरजरा बंद तेम ज मोक्षने ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो Om Namah Siddhebhyo. Om Sri Sudatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Today is July 21st, 2020, Tuesday, and here we are gathered over here for our Basic Jain Principles class. And in Basic Jain Principle class, we have started organ of knowledge, comprehensive knowledge. Knowledge is an integral part of the soul. Soul has infinite attributes. But out of those infinite attribute, infinite is amazing amount of number. We cannot even fathom that number. That infinite attribute, out of which one attribute shines through it, and that one attribute is a knowledge attribute. It's an extraordinary attribute that soul has it. So much that whole Samaisar, Kunkun Acharya Dev kept on saying, soul is a knowledge and knowledge is a soul, and soul is a knowledge and knowledge is soul. So much hammering was done. Kunkun Acharya wrote down Samaisar 2000 years back in Prakrit language. After Kunkun Acharya Dev, 1000 years later, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev came and he gave the critiques on Samaisar stanza. He gave critiques in Sanskrit. He translated those stanza into Sanskrit, and also he wrote in Sanskrit critiques on each stanza. While Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev is translating all these things, he did 415 Samaisar stanza translation into Sanskrit, and then a thought came to him that, Kunkun Acharya Dev simply wrote 2 lines of stanza. And now I'm expanding on it. But while expanding on it, it appears that a reader can be misguided, thinking that there is nothing besides soul, besides knowledge in the soul. Soul is knowledge and knowledge is soul. That's it. So he forced himself to write Samaisar appendix. And in that one, he wrote down about 47 extra powers that soul has. Soul has a power means attribute. Soul has an infinite attributes, out of which knowledge is the most important. And then if we just go further down, these are 47 nai. Samaisar has a 47 nai given. It's like a Jivatva Shakti, Chiti Shakti, Drasi Shakti, Gnan Shakti, Sukh Shakti, Virya Shakti, Prabhutva Shakti, Vibhutva Shakti, Sarvagnatva Shakti, Sarvdarshitva Shakti, I mean, Asankuchit Vikasatva Shakti, Akaran Karyatva Shakti, Parinamya Parinamakatva Shakti. Like that 47 powers he mentioned. And each one is very, very good. We will have time to time we do take them when the some stanza comes up, we just talk about it. But there's 47 that at least Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev was able to find that one out. And Gurudev Kanji Swami, he found out about 52 or 56 another one. Out of infinite, these are the super knowledgeable people, and they were able to extract some of this Shakti or powers or attributes. So soul has a knowledge as a main thing. So we have to have pretty good idea about this knowledge, how it works, what's the scope of its works, how does actual knowing occurs in me, and all those things. It's an integral part that we have, and that will be a base things. This is nothing extraordinary. This is a base building. And as much as we know about knowledge, attribute, and its function, then further clarity occurs in our mind. When we read the scripture, then it gives an idea to us that, okay, where is the Acharya Bhagwan here talking about? What is his intention to tell me? So that's why we have to know absolutely as much detail as possible for knowledge. Having said that, let me bring the slide and then we'll start from wherever we were left out last week. And last week we did, but then just to recapitulate quickly, I will just review a few slides and then we'll just come to the current slide. So let's come there and do that. Okay, so the comprehensive knowledge, as we say, where is that slide? Is it here or not? It may not be here. Sorry about that. Okay, no, it's okay. It's not here. So the comprehensive knowledge means what? What does comprehensive means? Total knowledge. Simple thing we can just say. We are going to have election coming up in November, for example. And so the candidate who is going to be contesting, let's say presidential candidate, we know as much as possible about him or her prior to give our vote. We try to say where he's coming from, what is his idea about this and that subject, and school subject, and a coronavirus subject, and all those things. We analyze that particular person from many angles. And then we decide, okay, he is right for me or he's not right for me. Shall I vote for him or not? Then we decide. Similarly, a given entity, now when we say given entity, let's say us, this guy, Kirit, he is an entity. How much do we have to know about him? Then we have to know from all angles, everything about him, from all the angles we have to know about him. Whose son he is, whose father he is, whose grandpa he is, whose grandson he is, whose uncle he is, whose nephew he is, whose son-in-law he is, whose father-in-law he is, and all those kind of multiple faceted things we have to know. What kind of work he does, where does he live, what is his education background, what is his belief in religion, and multiple facets. Now that somebody knows all this multiple facet about me, and then I'm going to temple, then he will see me as a Jain only, and rest of my entities will become secondary for him. If I go to India, then they will just say he lives in America. When I'm in New York, then I'll be said I live in Arizona. When I'm in Arizona, then they say I live in Phoenix, and what's on and on and on. So that way, you know everything about it, and then particular point you make it predominant. So this is the way we have to know the comprehensive. I have to know completely about soul. What is the soul made up of? What's the structure of the soul? What's the function of the soul? How does the knowing action occurs, and how the faith activity occurs? How is the conduct works, and how is the bliss attribute work? All those things I know. I have to know about the soul, all those things. And thereafter, I have to concentrate what is there for me. In the sense, let's take one more example. A thief wants to steal and he wants to do the robbery. So he analyzes the area. He goes to a wealthy area and he analyzes that area very carefully. And then he finds out, okay, this house appears to be extremely wealthy. Wealthy people are living, and only two people are living, and they both go to work every day, whatever information he gathers. So first thing, he decides the town where he wants to do the robbery. In the town, he takes the area where he wants to do the robbery. In the area, he picks up the street where he wants to do the robbery. And from the street, he picks up a house. So all these things are there, he picks up. Now, in that house, he studies extremely in detail. How many rooms are there? How many escape routes are there? How many bedrooms are there? Where is the kitchen? Where is the bathroom? All those things he will know it. He also will know where is that underground vault. Where is that one in the house? So he knows every detail about it now. And that's called comprehensive knowledge, Pramangnan. Now, when he's trying to do this robbery, he knows everything. Where is the escape route, how to go in, how to disable this thing, how to disable security system, and all those things he knows about it. But his concentration is only one track mind. Where is that vault? So even though he knows everything in the house and on the street and everything, now his concentration on that vault, because that's where my money is. That's where my aim is. Similarly, on the soul, I know everything about soul. Where is the soul? What's the nature of the soul? How many attributes are there? Each attribute, what they work? How is the modes occurring? What's the origination? What's the cessation? What's the constancy? What's the relationship with the alien object or universe? And all those things knowing. Now I say, yeah, I know everything. But where is The money, where is my money now? My money is on the eternal soul substance. So now I have a one track mind concentrating on the eternal soul substance. So prior to going to that eternal soul substance concentration, we have to have this information about comprehensive knowledge. That's where we are right now. That's why we have to know it. If we don't know it, then where can I concentrate myself? So here we have that comprehensive knowledge has to be free from three forms, from Sanshay, Viparya, and Devasaya. Indecision, illusion, and inconclusion is. These three faults should not be present in a comprehensive knowledge. So now, looking at the Sanshay means indecision. Indecision, doubt, suspicion, confusion. Is it like this or that? That kind of some indecision. And we have done this one, so I'm just going to go quickly on that one, just to tie up where we are coming today. So that's what we are taking this Sanshay on this one. We have already. Is this a shell or silver? I'm walking on a beach and some shiny thing is seen. Could this be shell? Could this be silver? I can't make decision. That's an indecision. Then examples of indecision, we are saying, is religion is there or not? All know omniscient Lord, is he there or not? Is existence of all, is there any existence of all the hell, heaven, human and subhuman realms of existence or not? Could soul be doing work? Could soul be doing its own work or doing work of the alien objects also? That kind of indecision. Soul and body, are they one or are they different? That's an indecision, and so on and so forth. We have those indecision going on with us. And as I said, we have talked a lot at length in the past. So just to refresh the memory. Viparya is very important. We are going to take a little bit more time on Viparya, means illusion. Illusion means whatever is there, I perceive it other way around. It could be shell on the beach and I can say it's a silver, or it could be silver and I can say it's a shell. So that's called illusion. It's called reversion, illusion, wrong faith, erroneous cognition, etc., etc. To think that shell is a silver means contrary view, inversion view, topsy-turvy, upheaval, false knowledge, disorder, confusion, destruction, distort. You can give quite a few names. To know that something is exactly opposite the way it is supposed to be, that's called illusion. To know that I'm a physical body, that's an illusion. That's a viparya. To know a thing erroneously, that's a viparya. A given substance is, with the multiplicity point of view, to know it as only eternal, only transient is illusion. For example, as we say, that the reality is a multifaceted reality is there. Similarly, soul has a multiple realities are there. Just one example, we do Das Lakshan Parva. It will be coming next month. Das Lakshan Parva, Kshama, Arja, Mardam, Satya, Saud, Sanyam, Tap, Tyag, Tyag, Akinchana, Brahmacharya. Das Dharma, 10 virtues of the soul. You mean soul has a 10 virtues? No. Soul is a soul only, complete one substance. But when I'm looking from the anger perspective, then the soul is full of forbearance. When I'm looking for deceit perspective, then soul is in straightforwardness. When I'm looking from the greed perspective, soul is in purity within. So, how is my condition? And accordingly, I can see the soul that way. So, there are not 10 virtues in the soul. It's 10 different ways to pursue a soul. Similarly, if one just says over here, for example, the soul is transient as well as soul is eternal in nature, that's a multiplicity point of view. soul is transient from modal perspective, soul is a permanent from the substance perspective, and both the things reside together in a given soul. But instead, to believe that soul is only eternal, or to believe soul is only transient, then it's called illusion. Why we bring that point? There is very important fact hidden there. Once you know this nature of the soul, you have discrimination in your mind. If somebody believes that soul is only eternal in nature, soul is only eternal, that's it, or soul is only transient, that's called illusion. And Hindu philosophy will say soul is only eternal in nature, that's it. There is no transiency in the soul. And Buddhists will say soul is only transient, there is no eternity in the soul. If either belief, it's called illusion, according to Jain principles. I don't want to go and tell somebody, hey, you are in the illusion. It's none of my job. I have to know what is truth. That's all it counts. I'm not here to judge the whole world that, hey, you are Buddhist, that means you are transient, that means you are in illusion, and Hindus. Why to worry about it? I have to understand, am I understanding it properly? That's what it counts. So simple little thing like this gives a discrimination in your mind. Remember, Jainism believes soul is eternal as well as transient. So if Hindu believes soul is eternal, and their scripture talks about eternity of the soul, and Kunkunacharya Dev said that the Samaysar is showing the eternal soul. So Samaysar and Gita may appear to speaking the same language. One of my very good friend, he's a Hindu friend. He's a follower of Vedanta and Bhagavad. I'm very careful talking to him because I want to make sure that whatever I believe, I believe. But he will say, Kirit, you're talking about soul. Bhagavad says the same thing. Gita says the same thing. It's okay, because if you're talking from eternal perspective, Samaysar will talk the same way, and your Gita and Bhagavad will show the same way too. But it's an incompleteness because you are not talking about transiency along with the eternity. So that's why it's an incomplete philosophy according to Jain, according to Mahavir. So rather than going into the argument, we just say, okay, that's your viewpoint and that's it. I respect your viewpoint. I'm not here to argue. Or if the really argument is there, you have to do very nicely. Meri Bhavna, some of you may be aware of that poem called Meri Bhavna. In the last stanza, he says, अप्रिय कटुक कठोर शब्द नहीं कोई मुख से कहा करे. Means you don't want to say some harsh word even though it could be reality. A person could be dark skinned and I can say you're Kalia, for example. That's a harsh word. You can convey the same thing if you want to. You can say, hey, Krishna Kanaya. He will say, hey, he considered me as a Bhagwan. So you have to be very careful. You believe something, but doesn't mean that you have to use a harsh word to insult somebody else. So keep that one in mind. So eternal and transiency, Viparya, we talked about. Now, some example of Viparya, first we'll take it, and thereafter we'll go in detail about Viparya later on. One considers all philosophy the same only. See here, Hindus are same, and Buddhists are same, and Jains are same. So whatever, this is a good thing, I'll take it. This is a good thing, don't, you have to be discriminative. Your head is not like that coconut that wherever you just go and you put that coconut on the feet of the so-called Lord. No, you have to understand. A simple thing that, one basic difference between these three important philosophies, and there are subgroups of those things, but this three important, like Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, this is the major basic difference are there. So one has to understand, if you consider all philosophies as same, you are going more towards the illusion part. One considers milder form of passion as religious act. Listen, I can't do, I don't have capacity to understand everything, but I just do the donation. When Parishan comes, I give donation, or not only Parishan, but all the time I give donation. So you have money, so you donate. What a big deal! There's nothing wrong. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you are doing something good because at least you have some kind of money available, and you are at least utilizing for right thing. But that is not a religion. That's an auspicious act only. Religion is to have experiencing of the soul, which is not donation or charity. One considers Lord as a doer of the universe. See, I mean, one philosophy is out of those three we discussed. They believe that Lord controls the universe. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma is a creator, Vishnu is maintainer, Mahesh is a destroyer of the universe. You mean that Brahma or Vishnu or Mahesh, they have nothing else to do, that they will do all this, all other work? Every substance in the universe is independent. So how can we have some controller, some entity which can control the whole universe? Because Jain said the universe is eternal and all the entities are eternal. Universe is eternal, all the six substances are eternal, and that's it. So, so um, so if the eternity is there, eternity for all the substances are there, then what does Brahma has to create? And if he's a creator, what was it? What was he before the creation came? There was a vacuum and there was nothing was here. So where was he when there was nothing was there? Then they say that he is eternal entity. If he is eternal entity, why can't you say everything else is eternal also? So you can argue all those things, but one considers Lord as a doer of the universe, it's a viparya. Because over here, simple thing like existence attribute, eternal existence attribute, astitva gun. If you simply know nothing except this astitva gun, means a eternal existence attribute, one can obtain samyak darshan and liberation just by understanding eternal existence attribute only. For example, I am existing because I have eternal existence attribute. So how long am I existing? Forever. How long will I continue to exist? Forever. Was I created? No. Will I be destroyed? No. I cannot be destroyed. Then what kind of fear do I have it? Fears that we have it is because something that I have it that can be lost. But if I'm the eternal existence, nothing can, the soul cannot be destroyed. So I don't have any fear. I become fearless simply by knowing eternal existence attribute of the soul. eternal eternal existence. That means I was never created, I will never die, I'm always there. If I'm always there, you are always there. If you are always there, all the matter objects are there forever. And if matter objects are there, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, and whole entire universe is always there eternally. And they all are independent of their own act. So where is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh? There is no creator, maintainer, or destroyer required. So all those things when we simple little thing, they have practical applications if we think more about it. One considers the auspicious as a path to the liberation. That's my illusion. Auspiciousness is an auspicious activity. And auspicious activity means I'm not into my eternal soul substance nature. And so I'm outside. When I'm outside, I cannot get liberation by remaining outside. So these are some of the examples that we take. And these are the real, we are taking kind of examples related to the soul only. Lots of other examples can be taken. Viparya could be of two types: naturally occurring or illusion brought in from the outside. Don't worry about this part. There is, Sahaj Viparya means it comes due to one's own fault. Another one is it occurs due to accepting someone's discourses. That's just kind of a little bit detail about it. We don't have to worry that much about it. Viparya also has three different types, and this is important. Viparya can be divided into three different types, and they are Karan Viparya. Some of the words you also have to get familiar with that. Means reverse cause or misunderstanding and misapprehension. One forget the real reason and now understand the wrong reason. Viparya means illusion. Karan means a cause. There is a wrong. There is an illusion about the reason or the cause. I am happy today. What's a cause? I am happy because happiness comes from the soul. I am happy because I got this phone today. No, I did not. That doesn't give you happiness. So Karan Viparya, misunderstanding, misapprehension. One forgets the real reason and now understand the wrong reason. Swarup Viparya, a contrary viewpoint regarding the form of matter, a contrary viewpoint regarding nature of the self. One is not able to know the real nature of the thing and understands altered nature of a thing. The soul and all these things, when you talk, it doesn't make any sense to me. I rather just do whatever with this physical body I can do it. I can do upas, ekasana, whatever I can do, I'll do it. But this knowledge business, it's not my cup of tea. So there's a swarup means my nature, my illusion about the true nature of a substance. What's the nature of this guy? This guy is a matter. Matter means it is a touch, taste, smell, color, etc. attribute, infinite attribute, but these are main attributes. I don't know those main attributes, and I say that phone, I can't live without it. Then for 2,000 years at least, how did people live? And happily too. Just because you have phone, that's why you are happy, that's why you think? No. So Swarup Viparya, not to know the real nature of nature of a thing. And Bhedabhed Viparya, erroneous understanding in division and indivisibility. Means I and the body are separate, but I think that as a one. I as a soul is an independent entity, Instead, I just believe that soul is bonded with this physical body. So I am an independent. Instead, I just am associated with the body. That kind of understanding I have, that's called Bhedabhed Viparya. We will go through all those things one at a time, so it will give a little better explanation to us, understanding wise. So these are the three main divisions of the Viparya, means illusion, we are supposed to know about it. Anadivasai will take it quickly. In conclusion, is to believe that something is there. So I'm not able to make decision. Remember in the first one, it was this. Could this be shell or silver? That's it. But here, I can't make any judgment about it. Something is there. I don't know what it is. Something like that. This type of inconclusion is called anadyavasai. A person is walking and he felt something under his foot. He's not sure what is touching to his feet. Could this be dry grass, a dry blade of a grass that he's touching? Or could some thorn or something he's touching? He's not able to make conclusion about it. So it's an inconclusionness. Something is there but does not know about actually what it is. This is known as anadyavasai. Oh yeah, soul has some kind of consciousness that I have heard, but I don't know. I don't know about it really. So that's called inconclusiveness. So those three things are very important. The soul should be free of all these faults. Knowledge should be free of all these faults. So anadyavasai example. Science of logic does not help one to come to right decision. The logic is very confusing branch actually, and that logic does not make me right decision. Sometimes it makes me more confused than what I was supposed to know about it. Scripture are given information from all angles, so one is not able to come to right conclusion. Sometimes scriptures speak from the conventional point of view. Sometimes scriptures are speaking from the absolute point of view, and all those things are too confusing, and I'm not able to make any conclusion. I can't make it because that soul has not given any enough time. The knowledge and thinking about it and dissecting it is not given those time, and now halfway he just gives it up. All knower, omniscient Lord or the enlightened monk are not seen, and the scripture are extremely subtle. So how can one be able to understand the reality? You keep on saying that do swadhyay, do swadhyay, do swadhyay. I try to read. I have no clue what they are talking about. That reminds me, several years back, about 30 years back, I was in the San Francisco area, and at that time, I just had that inquisitiveness started in my mind 35 years back. And I said I would like to know more about it. So one of the person appeared to be kind of learned person. So I said, hey, you know what? And that was Srimadji's Atma Siddhi's 100 years of celebration in San Francisco. So I said, hey, I would like to go through Srimadji's Vachanamrut. And the guy started screaming at me in a raised voice. He says, you know what? If you don't have base, then that Vachanamrut, Srimadji's Vachanamrut is like an atom bomb. You won't be able to tolerate. You have to start slowly, one thing at a time. Slowly you start doing it. So you start with the Mokshmala and things like that. Similarly, now very first thing I start learning, and I would like to read Samhita and everything. Hey, you know, that can really confuse you also. So one has to start slowly. So that means all those things I don't understand. So this reality is very confusing. This religion business is very confusing. It makes me more confused than what I came with. So this is anadyavasaya, inconclusiveness. In sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge, what kind of faults are visible? Now, sensory knowledge means matignan, scriptural knowledge means sutagnan. I, as a five sense sentient living being, has two forms of knowledge. Knowledge can be divided into five forms: sensory knowledge or cognitive knowledge, scriptural knowledge, it means matignan, scriptural knowledge, sutagnan, clairvoyance knowledge, audignan, telepathy knowledge, manoparya and omniscience knowledge, keval gnan. So five types of knowledges can be there, out of which I have two forms. We have two forms right now. So what kind of faults could be visible? In wrong faith state, all these three faults are visible. For a right faith person, none of the faults are present. Right faith person has an absolute clarity of reality because he has experienced a soul substance. Wrong faith person has not understood the reality. He has not experienced the reality. He has not experienced the eternal soul substance. So whatever he knows, he has all these faults present with him. Greater or lesser extent, but they are there. In clairvoyance knowledge, what kind of faults are seen? In clairvoyance, there is no sunshine, there is no doubt, there is absence of doubt. One with viparya and another fault is present. And that knowledge is known as faulty clairvoyance knowledge, clairvoyance present in a wrong faith person. So this is kind of you can just avoid this one if you don't, because we can keep on going for that, but it's not that important right now. Telepathy knowledge, none of the faults are present. So right faith person, one without all these three faults in knowledge, is known as right faith person. Samyak darshan jeev has no faults. He has knowledge is absolutely clear. He has a very clarity about the knowledge. Having said that, I'm going to throw monkey wrench in this sentence. The two people are there. One is a wrong faith person, mithyatva. One is a right faith person, samyatva. There is something in front over here. And mityadrashti jeev says it's a rope. And samyadrashti jeev says it's a snake. In reality, it's a rope only. That means, is this guy, Samyak Drishti guy, is he wrong now? And Mithya Drishti guy, is he right now? Is he right? Scripture says, no, Mithya Drishti Jeev is still wrong. Because the right faith person has a pretty good idea about the soul. The important thing is a soul. Whether it's a rope or a snake, it doesn't make difference to the soul. So he has a pretty good understanding about the soul after experiencing soul. That's why his knowledge is a right knowledge without any fault. And wrong faith person, even though he says right thing, for example, a guy who is a totally drunk right now, and he call his mother as mother, or he may call his mother as his wife or daughter. He can say anything because he is intoxicated. Similarly, this wrong faith person is intoxicated with the wrong knowledge, the wrong faith, etc. So even though he may say right thing, it is still wrong because he has not experienced his soul substance. So in right faith person, there are no fault in the real knowledge about the soul in the right faith person. Comprehensive knowledge further. Now that we know that these such type of faults are present and one has to go away from the fault, so now we come to the comprehensive knowledge, praman gnan, and try to analyze that one little bit in detail. It could be direct knowledge or it could indirect knowledge. Pratyaksh praman or paroksh praman. Yes, it may appear to be very off the subject right now, No, these are very important subject to understand, because knowledge is me and I am the knowledge. And so I have to know every smallest thing about this knowledge. So it can be divided into two parts: direct knowledge and indirect knowledge. What is direct knowledge? What's the indirect knowledge? Soul perceiving knowledge without the help of any senses, that's called direct knowledge. And soul getting knowledge by using sensory object, sensory five senses, and gathers knowledge, that's called indirect knowledge. Omniscient Lord, he is looking at a mango and he will know the mango completely, absolutely completely. And I am looking at a mango. I am using my senses. My eye is saying that color is yellow gold. Nose says smell is sweet smell. Touch sensation says that soft mango is soft to touch. And taste saying that mango is really sweet. So whole mango, to know it, I have to do the breaking the knowledge. In the individual aspect, I got the knowledge from the eye, from the nose, from the taste, from the tongue, and from the skin. So when I'm getting the knowledge of anything right now and this stage, I'm getting indirect knowledge. I'm looking at the scripture. I'm looking at a computer screen. I'm reading the scripture. I'm listening to the scripture. All those things, senses are involved. And when the senses are involved, that knowledge is called indirect knowledge. So knowledge, direct and indirect. Now I have the indirect knowledge because I have the senses. I have sensory knowledge right now. The Samyak Drishti Jeev and Omniscient Lord, they can see the soul, they can see the reality and the experience of the soul directly without having senses involved. If you may say, there is other philosophies believe that way, and so they believe that knowledge can occur because of few things. Object has to be present, light has to be present, and senses have to be present. Three things, they have to be present to have a knowledge. Suppose this room is dark right now, then I have no knowledge. Suppose I'm blind right now, I can't see. Suppose there is nothing present in front of me. I know this is a phone because phone is right in front of me, but if phone is not there, then I can't know it. Prakash, Padarth, and Indriya, light, senses, and object, they have to be present to get the knowledge. That means me as a soul, full of knowledge, has to be dependent on outside thing like light, object, and now matter senses. It doesn't appear to be the right thing. Because, let's say, you are extremely tired right now. You have done the whole days of work and difficult problem you solved, and now you are exhausted. So much you are working that you forgot about eating food and everything too, because you were really, really grossly and finely involved in your work. Now you are exhausted. So you took your dinner, whatever, and now you are coming to your room and you are ready to retire. And still there are other people are there, lights are there, etc., etc. The summer is there, so outside light is still there longer time. So now you close your room, put the curtains off, curtains on and everything. Plus you put your eye guard, so not a single ray of light can go into the eye, and so now you are sleeping. When you're sleeping, all the five senses are dormant right now. They are not doing any work. When you're sleeping, if the extreme darkness, there is no light. So absence of light, absence of senses. And because you are sleeping deep sleep, so objects are not present in front of you. So all the three things are absent. Prakash, Padarth, and above Indriya, all three things are absent. Light, object, and these senses, all three are not there. Now you are in deep sleep and you are witnessing a dream that you are a prince and a coronation occurs to you and you are becoming king today. You are on an elephant and there is a procession going on. You have wore beautiful, soft, silky clothes, touch sensation. You have wore colorful clothes, eye sensation. Music is going on, beautiful music is going on, ear function is going on. Fragrance are going on, lots and lots of flowers are there and beautiful fragrance is coming. Nose is working. And you also are eating the food, rich food and absolutely different types of food you are tasting. So in your dream, you're witnessing all these things. All the five senses of your five senses, what they work, they do the work you are experiencing, while senses are not there, light is not there, objects are not there. How did you get this knowledge? How did you get the dream? Over here, it refutes the other philosophies when they say that light has to be present, object has to be present, and senses have to be present. You mean blind men cannot cross the road? You mean deaf men cannot create the music? And in the darkness, nothing is seen, but I do see something. What did I see? I saw the darkness. So that theory refutes all the things. So now direct, indirect knowledge, indirect with the senses, direct with the directly from the soul. Okay, having said that, now let's go. Comprehensive knowledge, Praman Gnan. Direct knowledge and indirect knowledge, and that's called Pratyaksh Praman, acquiring direct knowledge with the support of one's own soul. Atmana asraya gnan થાય તે પ્રત્યક્ષ પ્રમાણ આત્માના આશ્રય થાય છે. Siddha Bhagwan has no senses, no physical body, no mind, and still Siddha Bhagwan, every moment he can witness whole universe, entire universe of past, present, and future. So that's a direct knowledge. Knowledge which is clear, knowledge which is pure, knowledge which is transparent is known as a direct knowledge. Direct knowledge is purity can be known with the experience only. Direct knowledge is pure, but that can be understood by experience only. પ્રત્યક્ષ પ્રમાણની નિર્મલતા અનુભવથી જાણી શકાય છે. So direct knowledge, to perceive it, you have to experience it. Furthermore, direct knowledge is two types. The two types are there. Direct knowledge in conventional sense and transcendental knowledge. Paramarthik pratyaksh, samvyavaharik pratyaksh. We'll see both of them. Transcendental knowledge further divides into perfect perception or partial perception. Perfect perception means omniscient knowledge. Partial perfection is a clairvoyance knowledge and telepathy knowledge. So out of 5 knowledges we have it: sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, and then clairvoyance, telepathy, and omniscience. The 3 are direct knowledge. One does not know, does not need senses for knowing those things. Only senses are required for the cognitive knowledge or sensory knowledge or matignan, and also supagnan means a comprehension about scriptural knowledge. So they are acquired through the senses primarily. So that's a transcendental knowledge. Clairvoyance knowledge means you know something in the other area. Maybe you may be sitting over here, you can just say what is happening in New Delhi right now. You can see exactly what is happening, what's the traffic going on, or what the people are doing. You can see those things, you perceive that one through the soul. That's called clairvoyance knowledge. Telepathy knowledge is very fine form of knowledge in which if I have that knowledge, I will read somebody's mind, whatever he's thinking about it. Hey, that will be good, right? To know that somebody, what is he thinking right now, I can know it. No, it will be difficult. Let's say you are the boss and that person is your subordinate, and something didn't work out and you started screaming, and the subordinate said, yes sir, I'm sorry. But what is he thinking in his mind? He is thinking all bad words possible. So Manipuri Gnan, telepathy knowledge, one has to have it. That means you have to have tremendous amount of capacity to accept that knowledge. And it will be only be present in a highly specialized monks. Not every monk. Occasionally some monk can have it. That's a transcendental knowledge. And Keval Gnan, you already know omniscience knowledge, that to know the whole universe, past, present, future in one given moment. Now, coming to the direct knowledge in conventional sense, means what? One which knows a thing clearly but partially with the help of senses and mind is known as Samvyavarik Pratyaks. For example, I have seen you in the past somewhere, and now I see you again. He is that person only. He is that person only. I decide that way because I have seen that guy before. That Nimish, I went to his home and I'm seeing him now. He is that guy because with my own eyes I have seen him. Now, eyes, they get the knowledge, indirect knowledge. Senses, any knowledge acquired through the senses is called indirect knowledge. But absolutely I knew this was Nimish, and he is Nimish right now. That means it's a right knowledge, but it's obtained through the senses. And this one has some importance coming when we just progress further. Right now, it just doesn't make any sense to you, and you say, what is this nonsense going on here? Why do I have to know all these things? There's lots of practical implication coming. How can I get Samyak Darshan? To understand that one, we have to have certain baseline clarity in our mind. So now next one, time-wise. Oh, time-wise. Okay, let me finish this slide. For example, I did see clearly that person with my own eyes. Eyes, that means it's a senses, and I'm acquiring indirect knowledge. But because I really perceived that person right way, that's why it's called direct knowledge from conventional perspective. Sensory knowledge, Matignan and scriptural knowledge, Sutignan falls in this category, which we have it. So we'll stop over here right now and we'll just have to go further because whatever next comes, it will be dissecting these two guys over here further down. And it just tells me how am I acquiring knowledge and how it is going to be helpful and how can I get the Samyak Darshan and Samyak Gnan by using these two knowledges that is there, they are right now available to me, and that will have a relationship to stanza 144 of Samaysar. It took 144 stanza for Kunkun Acharya Dev to say how the experiencing occurs. So we are also doing base building to say how the experience is going to occur to me. Any questions so far? Let's take questions for a few minutes.
Kirit, I have a question.
Please.
Earlier you said that soul eternal, Atma Nitya che, and the soul is also transient. So can you give us an example of how it's transient?
Okay. Let's say quick, this is the gross example we are going to take it, that in Sangraj ka family, your last name is Sangraj, right? Yeah. Sangraj ka family, a boy was born, whatever, how many years back. A boy is born, and then everybody is very happy, and then they say, we give the name as Nimish. Okay. So he's a little teeny tiny boy right now. And now he starts crawling, and now he becomes toddler, and now he starts walking, now he goes to school, now he goes to primary school, now he goes to secondary school, now he goes to college, and then he comes to US, now he's doing business. All those, throughout all these things, changes occurred to him from birth to toddler to the primary school to secondary school to higher school to college and business, etc., etc., etc. All those changes occurred, but Nimish remains Nimish only. So Nimish is a constant throughout the life. From birth till death, he remains Nimish. But constantly changes are occurring. Well, he was, oh, is that teeny tiny boy Nimish became a big shot now? Yes, he became big shot now, you know. So that kind of thing, changes occurring in a person. So he is a constant, from birth till death, he's a constant entity, one name, but he keeps on changing his characteristics every day. When teeny tiny boy was there, he was playing with certain kind of toys and everything. Now he says, what about those toys? Forget it now. I need to have big toys. I need to have 4 wheels and a big, whatever. So what I'm trying to say, those changes occurring, that's called transiency. And permanency will means the birth to death, that Nimish remains Nimish only. That's called permanency. Soul for time infinite was never born, will never extinct. So soul is a constant. But in the same soul, transiency occurs. At one point, I have an anger. The next moment, I have a deceitful nature. Then I have an ego. Then I have a greed. Then I have a rag. Then I have a dvesh. Then I have a wrong knowledge. I have the ignorance. And then at one day, I end up getting Samyak Darshan. Then I'm in the 4th spiritual development stage. Then go to 5th, then go to 6th and 7th, and then ultimately next life, I may end up with the Aryan Pad, and then ultimately get Siddh. All throughout that soul changes. It's transient, that keeps on changing. But see, anger doesn't remain permanent. You try to remain angry, for example. No, you can't. You try to remain egoistic. It can't remain forever. So those are transiency. Those are transient changes occurring within me. At the same time, I remain constant. The gold, I have it. I have, you know, how much gold I may have it? Well, I may have, let's say, 100 coins of gold. 100 ounces of gold I may have it. Now, that is the substance you are talking. it means gold is a gold is a gold is a gold, but that gold is in the form of necklace and a ring and in the form of bracelet, and different types of things are there. So those are called transiency. Your necklace, you didn't like, the wife didn't like it, you broke it down, so that necklace became gold again. From that gold, you said, now I want to make a bracelet. So you made a bracelet. So another change occurred. Now you broke down, then it gold became gold, and now you made a ring out of it. So those are the things changing. That's called transiency. Water becomes vapor, becomes snow, becomes water, becomes vapor, becomes snow. H2O is constant, and changes are occurring in the form of water to the vapor to the snow, etc., etc. Similarly with the soul, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right. If not, then we are going to do the closing right now. Okay. जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लो कालो, सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ। 9 times नमो का मंत्र। नमो वेदांतम। जय जिनेंद्र।
Jai Jinendra.
Thank you.
Jai Jinendra. Cham Dukram.
Chand Dukram.
Ichame Dukram.
Bye.
Bye.